Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. I'm your host, Kira Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast.
Well, hello. All right, you guys, it's Workshop Wednesday. I love Workshop Wednesday. We all get together. It's a ton of fun. Welcome all of you that are joining us today. Super jazzed to have you. Today is week 2 of our 4-week Workshop Wednesdays. We're doing scheduling and treatment planning. So today is more scheduling. So for all of you joining us today, I want to know, we're going to get people to participate today. That's my goal. So dental A-teamers, don't worry, I just threw that out there. We're now dental A-teamers. Not sure where that came from, but it's fine. So we want to know, we're going to get you guys participating today. Rachel, I know, is letting you guys in. So welcome to Workshop Wednesday with us. Before we get all the attendees today to let us know who you are, if it's your first time, if you know us, if you love us, if you don't know us, welcome. But before we do that, we're going to start and get to know who the Dental 18 panel is here. So Tiff, we're going to start with you, Tiffany. Let us know who you are.
You'd think I'd be prepped and used to this by now, but I'm not.
Never.
Okay, number 1, our rule for no participation is that we do jumping jacks, but I think because it's 2020, we need to level that up and we do burpees now. So we should drop and do burpees if there's no participation. My name is Tiffany with the Dental A-team. I've been with Kira for a few years now. Dental is like my only history in life. I've been in dentistry since 2003. I love dentistry, but even more, I love helping people. And that's my path in life, is to help people. Efficiency is my jam. So if you need to make something in life more efficient, just reach out to me. And that's it. Yeah. Right.
So good about that. That was good. I think you hit it all, Tiff. Nice job. All right. Well, welcome, Tiff. We're glad to have you here. We also have Miss Tarly. Tarly, tell us a little bit about you.
Hi there. I'm getting better at this. Okay, so I think thought about it. No, my name is Tarly. I have been working in dentistry for, 10 plus years. And I've known Kira and Tiff actually for that long. Actually, we all knew each other, I think, at the beginning. Tiff was in dental before I was, and Kira came in right around the time when I met her too. But anyways, I love systems and structures. I think they're very cool, but what I think is even cooler is going to be leadership and emotional intelligence amongst teams. I believe it is a key component to having a team thrive, and that is my jam.
It totally is. Tarly's masterful at it. When I used to work with Tarly was my office manager back in the day. It feels like giggly to me because I was so young. All the things. I remember telling Tarly used to give me all these tips, and I wrote them down as Tarly tidbits. And and we hashtagged for a little while Tarly tidbits because of all the things she taught. So it's fun to have her here. We can all thank Tarly that Tiff and I met, and voila, here we all are. She took a risk on me. I had very minimal front office experience when she hired me, so I learned block scheduling real well. Thank you, Tarly. All right, Ash, you're up, my dear.
So I'm Ashley Doran. I'm coming to you guys from Salt Lake City, Utah, originally from Wisconsin. Similar to Tiff, dentistry is kind of all I've ever known. I started at the early age of 17, so almost 13 years now I've been at it, and I absolutely love it. Back office is definitely my jam, being a strong dental assistant for many years. But I also love dental marketing, kind of like managing teams, front office too. I've really worked all over except for ran that drill legally. So I absolutely love dentistry. I love coaching teams. Helping people is really the reason why I got into dentistry, and still being a coach, I'm able to do that. So that's a little bit about me.
I love it. Welcome, Ash. I love that you even put in there legally running a drill. She prepped us and primed us for a fun story. All right. So you guys, this is the Dental 18 panel. We also have behind the scenes, we've got Kaylee and Rachel. They are behind the scenes. We also have Harmony joining us, and then Laramie and Claire. Claire sends her regards. She's our hygiene coach, and she is not here today. So for all of you attendees, welcome. We're doing this. I'm shaking this up today. I've been prepping for this one. So for all of you coming here, we want to make sure that you can hear us loud and clear. So you got to chat in the chat box, but don't give us a yes. We're going to get original. You have to say yes in a different way. So come up with whatever ways. We want to know if all you participants can hear us without using the word yes. Give us an affirmative of a different way. So we got yo, yo, and I'll modify this one. Heck yeah. Loud and clear. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. C. We got a C going in. You guys are doing a good job. Keep them coming. Keep them rolling. Whoop, whoop. Nice job, Trish. Loving that from you. All right. Come on. There's a few more of you out there. Woohoo. Nice. Loving it. All right, you guys. You're hearing us loud and clear. Copy. Hola. That's actually not hola. It's hola, but I just read hola, so it's fine. It's hola. Hey, y'all. Loving it. All right, you guys. Let's get this party rocking and roll. What's up? I love the emoji. Kelly, nice job on the emoji. Very clever. All right, you guys. Today we are going to rock and roll. We're going to jam this out. So the A-team, we are the A-team, and we are committed 100% to bringing you guys the best of the best of the best. That's what we commit to every time on Workshop Wednesdays. And nothing pains us more than to give you guys tips and ideas and things that we know will change your life and for you guys not to implement. So I want you guys today to see yourself doing this. Okay, so the tips that we give you, actually see yourself doing it. There's a quote. They said, thoughts become things. So if you see this in your mind, you'll hold it in your hand. Meaning, if you're going to see this in your mind, you're going to hold it in your hand. And then you are going to actually take these tips and they're going to become a reality for you. So you guys, if we're willing to commit to our best, we're going to ask you guys to commit to your best today as well. Where you're actually not just going to nod your head and say, yes, we're going to do this. We want a commitment in that chat again. So you guys just learned all the different ways to say yes. Give us a commitment that you're going to bring your best today as well so we can move on. Put them in the chat. Today is a very chatty day. Give us the yes, not just with a head nod. We want to know that you're actually going to make the things we tell you today a reality for you. So pop them in the chat. We want to see those come through. We got a yes. We got a bones. Keep them coming. We want you guys committed to this. Bring in my best today. I love it, Maria. We are too. We love this. Give us that yes in the chat. Kelly, you with those emojis, girl. I'm loving it. Drop the mic. Nice. Thumbs up from Dawn. All right, you guys. This is where we take ideas and make them a reality. So if you can see it in your mind, you're going to get it. Go, girls. I like you, Laura. Thanks. All right. So let's get rocking. We sent you, Rachel, if you will please give them the worksheet. We're going to pop you guys over into the worksheet. There's 2 worksheets we made. So we're going to do a quick share screen. Here we are. So what I wanted to show you guys is we have a worksheet that we're going to start with, and it is this one, okay? Today's topic is magic phrases and prepayments. Again, if you see this in your mind, you're going to hold it in your hand, you're going to have this. So magic phrases and prepayments. I just wanted to let you guys know, on the Dental A team, let me just back this up. On the Dental A team, we have this virtual training page. Okay, so today we're going to be polling you guys from, if you scroll down here, we have our schedulers course right here. This scheduler course is this one right here. So you guys can see the course. We have schedulers, who you are, with a ton of assessments, your daily duties, how to do them, the phone, your best friend, patient communication, let's build schedule time, and scripts, words to use, okay? So what we're going to show you in this worksheet that we're doing today is a quick sampling of this entire course. I wanted you to see this course. I'll show you some other spots in the course where we'll pull from. It's just going to be a quick gloss over today, but this is where that course is. Also, you guys, up here it says there's 50% off of all of our online courses. It goes away at the end of this month. There's something else coming, but I want to make sure you guys get these indefinitely. So let's pop on over to this, not that one. Let's go over to our worksheet. Thank you. All right, so magic phrases and prepayment. We are going to talk about, first of all, this is interactive, so get that worksheet. Thank you, Rachel, for dropping that in the chat and making this amazing worksheet. So on here, we're going to start off because what we realized with scheduling is that you guys are going to need the 3 E's of communication. No matter if we're scheduling, if we're answering the phone, whatever it is, this is what's happening. And you guys, I've been watching a lot of offices lately, and we've been seeing that patients are kind of scared. There's some that are scared. There's some that are excited to come into the practice. Same thing with team members, right? And so what we wanted to start with today is these magic phrases for you guys and giving you guys some communication tools to help with scheduling. So the 3 E's of communication, if you know what one of these E's of communication are, you've heard our podcast, pop it in the chat. If you know what one of these 3 E's of communication are, it's okay if you don't, but if you have an idea, pop it in there. I won't say your name. Don't worry. Don't be shy. Energy. We've got energy. Yes, absolutely. Energy is one of the 3 E's. So go ahead, write it down. I've got mine written here. You guys write on your worksheet as well. We've got energy, empathy. There's one more. Those are both correct. What is the 3rd E? Okay, I'll write these for you. So we've got energy. Then we're going to have empathy. And then what's the last one? Does anybody know? It's okay if you don't. I'll start typing it. Edification. All right. So energy, empathy, edification. These are going to be paramount right now, you guys. So let's think about the energy. Today, my energy is hot and high. Like I'm bringing it to you guys because we want you to be here. We want you to feel it. We want you to get excited. We want you to see this and create it as your own and to create that schedule that you want. Same thing with your patients. Your energy might not be like, hey, this is the best day coming to the dental office. You might need to match the energy of what they're having on the other side. If they're a little fearful, bring it down. You can still be confident, but make sure your energy is matching. Next up is empathy. What does empathy mean? Empathy right now, I think, is critical because we're in pandemic. People don't know. People are scared. And it's not saying like, oh, it's totally fine. Just come on into our office. Empathizing with them like, hey, yeah, I know it's kind of scary. Absolutely. I just want to let you know this is what we've done to ease their concerns. So showing that empathy. And then edification is paramount because we're going to be edifying every person in our office. Any chance you can get. Hey, you're going to absolutely love Tiffany. She is incredible. She's going to be the best hygienist you'll ever have. You are absolutely going to love Ashley. I just had her work on my teeth last week. She's incredible. You're going to love Dr. Tarley. Dr. Tarley did a filling on me last week and I couldn't even feel it. You're absolutely going to love it. Coaches, what are your other thoughts on these 3 E's of communication and how they relate to the offices now and also to scheduling? What are your thoughts on energy, empathy, and edification?
I'll just say that energy speaks louder than words. So I'll just say it's one of those things you can't fake it till you make it. I know sometimes people say fake it till you make it. I'm going to say you can't fake it till you make it. I'm going to say your energy, like really how you're feeling, really communicates louder than what's coming out of your mouth. So if you have a concern, if you believe in your doctor, if you believe in the treatment you're presenting, if you believe in what you're doing, that's going to come through. If you don't, you just need to address why you don't. Otherwise, your energy will always communicate louder than your words do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Tarley. Tiff, Ash, any thoughts you want to add on?
I was going to say I've been coaching a lot of my on a lot of my coaching calls, really talking a lot about edification and how it's more important now almost than ever before. We have some providers that patients are normally used to seeing that may not be back in the practice yet. So some of those hygienists or maybe associate doctors that are still out. So really edifying really your entire team is so important. You know, I know you're normally used to seeing our hygienist Tarley. Unfortunately, she's out right now. Let's make sure you're going to have, you know, a great experience with this hygienist instead, however you word it. But really edifying each other is so important.
For sure. I love that because you're right. People are looking to you as that friend in common and however you present. I love the coaches. I freaking love the coaches on this team. And so it comes very easy for me to edify them because I genuinely love them. So if we have a new client coming in, we just had one and I sent an email like, you are going to love Tiff. She's incredible. She's literally a clone. Her and I are the same brain in 2 different bodies. You are going to love her. She's brilliant when it comes to efficiencies. Whatever it is, I find something specific about her and edify because people are then like, okay, I love Tiff too. She's efficient. She's great. And that's why you're edifying to really build that trust and confidence. And this is so paramount with your scheduling. You guys are going to be coming in. They're going to be having concern. They're going to be feeling your energy and listening for that. And they're also, I can't tell you how many times people call in and I have zero empathy because it's a toothache. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Mrs. Jones, it's just a toothache. Like, you're totally fine. That is not okay because for them, this is not their normal world. For us, it is. And so really watching that empathy. Tiff, did you have something?
I was just going to say that the edification, I always tie it back to something that the next person can do for the patient you're talking to that I can't accomplish. right? So even in Kira's pass off there, she was saying like she's good at efficiency. So getting very specific about what they do for their position rather than just being like she's great, because anyone could be great and you could get along on a personal level. That's fantastic, but she might not be the best tooth cleaner to me, right? She might not be the best hygienist to me as a patient. She cleans my teeth. I need to know how well she does her job, not just who she is as a person. So always tying it back to what are they going to do for your patient that I can't provide.
I love that, Tiff, because that is an area where you tie it to a specific that they can then connect to. It's not like Tiffany's amazing. Tiff's amazing with efficiency. Charlie's great with leadership. Ashley's incredible with back office systems. Those things. So when an office is coaching with us, we let you know exactly what you're going to get and what you can expect. It's also setting an expectation for them. So for you guys, since today is super interactive, I wanted to make this more interactive because I want you guys to see it, to become it, to have this in your hand. What is one of those 3 E's of communication, energy, empathy, or edification that you see right now that you're going to ramp up this next week? What are you going to focus on? Don't say all 3. We're never going to get it. What is your one thing? Pop it in the chat. We want to hear from you guys. What is the area you're going to work on? We've got edification from Maria. Thank you, Maria. Nice job. Energy. Absolutely. Energy, bringing that energy in. What else do you guys have out there? We don't like talking to a blank screen. So tell us what you guys have out there. Are you going to work on energy, empathy, or edification? We've got empathy. Absolutely. Sharing that empathy. Energy. Trish, love it. Bringing that energy. Edification, Christina. Awesome. Keep them coming. Edification. This is where you guys right now are taking these ideas and these principles and making them your own. Because now you just connected. All right, I'm going to work on, and you guys, I need to work on empathy. Offices text and like, hey, I'm struggling. And I'm like, you're totally good. Don't even worry about it. And I'm like, whoa, I need to acknowledge that they're struggling and then offer a solution to their true problem, not my assumed. So that's mine. So mine, Kira Dent's going to work on empathy. You guys have yours. Mark it down. I just circled mine of what I'm going to do and write a specific. So I'm actually going to listen and I'm going to acknowledge what's going on when I empathize with them. So I'm going to have more empathetic listening. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, you got me. All right. So empathetic listening will be my thing I'm working on. All right. So that's the first part. This is also when you look at scheduling, think about a patient who's terrified to get an implant and you're trying to schedule. Well, you can have your energy, your empathy, and your edification when you're scheduling. Hey, like I'm going to bring it down a few notches because we're talking an implant and Tiff is terrified she's getting an implant. So I'm like, hey, Tiff, gosh, like I know that there's fear. There's fear of the unknown. I totally understand that. I also know that Dr. Tarley is incredible with implants. I've seen her do so many implants. Patients absolutely love her. They don't have any pain. It's pretty quick and it's very efficient for you. So what questions do you have? Notice I didn't say, do you have questions? What questions do you have for me? Because I want you feeling totally confident coming in here next week when we see you. Now Tiff knows I've edified, I've empathized, and I've had the matching energy. It's going to help with your scheduling. People will feel heard. They're going to feel more confident. You're not going to have those drop-offs on the schedule. They say yes to your face and then drop off. So that's going to help you guys. Okay. So now we're going to switch gears. There's another form. Rachel, if you'll share that form with them, I'll pull it up for you guys. You guys will be seeing this one. Let me find it for you right here. It's to use or not to use. So it's this form here. Tiffany was incredible. We did an event and we made this form. And Tiff is going to take over and talk about words to use or not to use, because these words are going to be magic for you. Thank you, Rachel, for popping that in. Guys, make sure you get this form. We want to make sure you go home with tangibles so you can make this your own. So Tiff, if you'll take it over with words to use or not to use, kind of how you built this out for them.
Yeah, first I want to touch on what Kira just said, the example that she gave where she said, I'm going to bring my energy down a couple notches. I think when we say, I'm going to work on my energy, or I need to make sure my energy is X, right? We think like, oh, I'm not high enough energy. The first thing that we think of routinely is shift my energy. I have to be more positive. But that's not always the case. It's just checking in with where is your energy at. Right? Like me, my energy automatically levels up when I'm around Kira. She comes down a little bit because we're on different spectrums. And so naturally we align. She comes down, I come up. So if I'm treatment planning to Kira, I am naturally going to come up in energy, vice versa, she'll come down for me. I just want to make that clarification that it's not always just like, hey, push your issues aside and be more positive, you'll sell more cases. That's not the case. It's just check in with where your energy is at. And like Tarly said, are you coming from an authentic place or are you faking it till you make it? So that goes into these to use or not to use words pretty seamlessly. I am very huge. We learned this from Tarly, right? Your words create worlds. And the words that you use will literally determine the outcome of what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're trying to treatment plan someone, you're trying to get them into the specific block on your schedule, and you're using words that don't align with that end result, you're going to botch it. They're going to be like, no, I can only come in at 10 a.m. And you're like, shoot, the doctor wanted to do this at 2 p.m. And then all of a sudden, doctor's like, why do I have these fillings at 10 a.m.? Patient wouldn't go anywhere else. Let's check in our words. What did we use? What words did we put out there that created this outcome? So this whole form, you guys have this form. I love this form. I want you to note, I always point this out, that we started with the to use and not the not to use. Because I think coming from a more positive, like these are the good, these are the positive. So if we start out with like, don't use these words, see how that determined exactly how this conversation will go? If we say, these are the words not to use, but replace them with these, I'm working harder to shift your energy, right? And we're coming from like a do not do. And now I'm trying like, okay, but let's be happy. If we're just like, hey, use these words, don't use these ones. You're automatically coming from a different place. So while you're using words, when you're thinking about your verbiage, keep that in mind, right? Where are you starting from? Okay. So when a patient, we'll run through a couple of these. I'm going to highlight some of my favorites. And it's fine. It's not showing up right here, but I'm going to highlight, unfortunately. It's down there somewhere. You will find it.
It's actually not. We need to update our form, Tiff. Unfortunately, it's not on there.
Great.
And so guys, this is a little magic one that's not on your form. So take note, because this is probably our best magic for you.
Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out. That's beautiful. Now you have one more. So write it on your other form, right? Or print this and write it on there. Unfortunately, if you are one of my offices and you're on here right now, you're probably rolling your eyes. Like I've heard this so many ding times. Unfortunately, it's like my death word. It makes me cringe whenever I hear it because I'm so in tune with people's energy. Right? Just like I was just talking about, we're starting positive. So if you ask me or you tell me, right, oh, I can only take my break at 10 a.m. from work, so that's the only time I can come in. And I say, well, okay, I hear you, but unfortunately, Dr. Tarly, she doesn't do this procedure at 10 a.m. She only does it at 2 o'clock. So when can you come in at 2 o'clock? How do you feel right now? Like check in, write it in the chat right now. Like, how do you feel when I tell you, oh, unfortunately, we just can't do that? How does that feel? Go. It's there, Maria. Oh, you found it. Good job. Thanks, Maria. Okay, you're not listening to me. What else? How else do you feel when I say, unfortunately, we just can't do that at 10 a.m., but I could do 2 p.m. How can you make that work? Block, rejection, frustrated. Yeah. Now imagine you're the patient and I said that. Now imagine if you're the treatment coordinator and you say, oh, unfortunately, I can't make that work for you. How do you feel as a person? Like literally right now, say the word unfortunately out loud and tell me, how do you feel? Well, fine. Yep. How do you feel? I feel defeated. Like I feel like exactly defeat. Good. Rejected. Yeah. And you feel rejected, right? Like I didn't even get rejected, but I feel rejected. So now all of a sudden your energy has been placed on the negative, right? And so what is your outcome going to be? Your outcome is going to be the negative. So unfortunately, it's just like the best example I can possibly use because we use it. I use it all the time. And I'm like, dang it. I use it in offices when I'm teaching not to use, unfortunately. I'll say something and I'll be like, unfortunately, nope, don't do that, right? I do it all the time, but it's just being more aware of it and being clued into it. So I could use anything else, right? You know, I totally hear you on the 10 a.m. slot. We really prefer to do this type of treatment at that 2 a.m. slot. It's just the best time for Dr. Tarly, and she is just on it. It's when we can see you the most, and it's when we can devote most of her time to it. So is there ever a day in your schedule, maybe a day off that you've got coming up or some vacation time? I know we work President's Day, you know, if it's February, whatever. How can we work around that? How can we find a solution to that, right? Because we're getting them into that 2 p.m. slot. I hear you, I got it. So let's see what we can do. Let's see how we can work this out. 2 p.m. is really our preferred slot for that. So what solutions can we come up with for that? Period. Right? Put it on them, ask them, but just switch it. Just switch the words. Just take out unfortunately. Okay?
Yeah. Tiff, do you remember we heard, I think when we were doing an event with Mark, he also replaced that with the good news is. And I started saying that. And so whenever I want to say unfortunately, because I'm going to say like, unfortunately, Tiff, you're late, so we can't see you. And if I've got to spin that to the good news is, I'm going to find a way to find good news. So Tiff's late coming to her appointment. I'm like, well, unfortunately, Tiff, Ashley can't see you. We don't have enough time. Well, high five. We just treated you like a child. You're an adult. You know you're late. So I can spin that and say, the good news is, Tiff, you got here. We're going to get you back with Ashley. She's going to be able to take your x-rays today, and we'll be able to get you back for a cleaning on another date. I don't tell her, unfortunately. So I really have loved that. And I didn't think I said unfortunately a lot. I say it a lot. So when you hear that, it's almost like triggers. And I love to have like Tiff's go-to is I hear you. My go-to is the good news is. Doesn't matter what your go-to is. Just replace it with some phrase. So that way you'll catch yourself and you can shift it. Because honestly, that unfortunately, it is crazy. When you spin it, I mean, now it's the good news is, and you guys can find the good news solution for them. There is always a good news solution no matter what's going on.
Yeah, I definitely love the good news. Thank you for saying that. I love that. And it's so easy. Even if you can't see the patient, they've come way too late and you cannot see the patient at all. Thank you so much for getting here safely. We truly appreciate that you're okay. We lost all our time in the schedule today, but the good news is that I actually have a slot available X that I can slide you into. How does that look in your schedule? Right.
Laura, I love what Tiff, just to interrupt you, Laura wrote, she said, fabulous, and the patient feels cared for. You're exactly right. We didn't compromise our standard. It doesn't mean Ashley's doing a 15-minute cleaning because now Ash is stressed out. It means we created the good news for them. They feel cared for. I'm going to tell you guys a story that you're going to remember for probably a long time. I went to Ireland, and I'm totally detouring right now, Tiff, so just hang tight for a moment. I want to drive this point home. I was flying out of Ireland. My little sister and I did not check in the night before, which is my fault. We got there an hour and 55 minutes before the plane departed. They would not print our tickets. And I was so frustrated. We didn't have luggage. We don't have anything. I know I can get through customs in an hour and 55 minutes. But because we didn't have our 2-hour window, they told me they weren't going to see us. So I remember getting in line. I was very frustrated, right? I'm frantic. I'm irritated. I'm not catching my flight. I've got to find a solution. Think of your patients frantic coming in. Well, this woman, her name's Louisa. I have not forgotten. Clearly, I have not forgiven her yet. I remember I got up to the counter and I was not in my best self, guys. So it's not all her fault. I came in really hot and I was like, we need to get on this flight. Is there any way we can get through? We have no luggage. And she said, nope, you came here late. And I was like, I'm aware that we were late. We hit traffic. And she's like, well, you're late. And I said, this is not my best shining moment. You guys will remember. I said, I'm aware. I'm an adult. I know that I was late. And she's like, well, you're not acting like an adult. I wanted to lose it, and I did lose it. I was like, all right, so then what can we do? And she's like, it's going to cost you £1,000 per ticket to change. And I was like, excuse me, I just heard you tell this guy it was £100. Who are you? So then I went on and I said, well, you know what, Louisa, why don't you just finish this transaction so neither of us have to speak to each other again? Because I think that's best for you and for me. That did not go well. In case you guys want to know, don't do it. I literally got put in timeout in Ireland airport. I had to go sit there to calm down while Louisa had her power trip with me. The point of this story is because she came in and told me, you're late, you're not acting like an adult, all those things, you guys, I'm an adult. I was well aware that we were late. I was looking for a solution and I matched and mirrored her energy. I'm not saying that that was right or wrong. I'm saying I should have been a better person on that. I just wanted to point out that when you say unfortunately, or you're late, or you reprimand, or you do these things using those words, that's what it feels like on the other side. I felt very much like a child as opposed to an adult. and the situation escalated in a way it should never have done. So just sharing that story, like, don't be a Louisa, don't be a Kira, and how can you spin that? Because she could have said to me like, hey, the good news is you're here and we're going to find a solution for you, and here's a ticket that we can do for you. I would have come down a ton. I was frantic, I was stressed, I was looking for a solution. And so that could be a way for you guys thinking of words to use or not to use. How does that land with the person coming in? And how would you feel? How would you want to be treated as well?
Well, imagine how the hashtag Kira moment would have gone if instead Louisa said, the good news is that you guys are here safe and sound, and we have a solution. For just £1,000 per ticket, we can get you a new ticket and get you well on your way. Kira would have been like, all right, here's £1,000, right? Like, whatever, like all she had to do was say, the good news is we have a solution. You're here, you're safe. I'm excited you're here. We have a solution, right? So easy.
She told me she hadn't taken breakfast and needed a breakfast break, which apparently they do in Ireland. If you guys want to know more, I'll tell you more next time.
That would be me. I'm not going to lie. I get angry. Every time I'm angry, Kira is like, okay, Tiff needs to eat. It's 12:30. I haven't fed her lunch yet. This is true.
All right. So other words to use, not to use. You're welcome. Thank you.
That was huge. Okay, this is perfect right here. So I want to talk about shifting people into the schedule, right? So I am huge on questions that funnel, right? We all are. We want to funnel. So we want to say, is there a day or a time within your schedule that typically works best for you, right? Or is there a day during the week that works best with your schedule? Because then I can clue in on a Thursday, and it's made me need this training. Thank you, Laura. You can giggle. But I can clue in on, okay, she wants Thursday. Well, guess what? On Thursdays, Dr. Ashley, Dr. Tarley, they do this at 2 p.m. How does that time work for you? Period. Right? Or let's slide you in there. 2 p.m., let's slide you in there. Okay? So what I didn't say was, what time do you want to come in? Or what time... when do you want to schedule this? Because then you're in a corner. When do you want to schedule this? Well, my next day off is next Tuesday, and I'd prefer to do it while my kids are in daycare, so 10 a.m. would be fantastic. And you're like, I don't have any appointments available on Tuesday. We're full because it's the day after Memorial Day. So now you're in the situation where you're like trying to claw your way out. So if you say, is there a day during the week that typically works best for you? Or you can say, is there a day during the week that typically works best with your schedule? Right now, I'm scheduling into next Wednesday or later. Because then she knows Tuesday is not available, right? So then when do you think you'll be ready to schedule is another no-no. It's just, let's get this scheduled, right? Let's get you booked up. Let's get you scheduled. Well, I'm not really ready. No worries. Let's give you a couple weeks to think about it. Let's slide you into this 2 p.m. appointment on June 1st. I think that's going to work out really well. I will call you at least 3 days prior to see how you're feeling. Now they're on the books, right? Okay. And then I want to pop down cancellation. This one eats at my heart too. Cancellation is a big one for me. Cancellation policy, broken appointment fee, cancel my appointment. Basically what you're doing is you're putting it in the patient's mind that you accept cancellations, right? We have a cancellation policy. Oh, so people cancel. It's normal. It's routine, right? Or if you need to cancel your appointment, please make sure you give us 48 hours notice. Well, what they heard was, I can call if I need to cancel my appointment. They didn't listen to anything after cancel. They said, oh, good, I can get out of this. Okay? So if you have an emergency that arises, it is just completely unavoidable. Please just try to give us as much time as possible. We typically really like 48 hours notice, but please just give us a call if something unavoidable comes up in your schedule. Okay? So make it like it's unheard of. Right? It's completely unheard of that people cancel on our schedule. When they call to cancel, we say, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Because people just don't cancel on our schedule, right? Broken appointment fee, people don't know what a broken appointment is. Cancellation charge, think about where your energy is at. As I'm saying these out loud, like, do you cringe inside? Because I cringe when I say them, or when I hear them, I cringe. I'm like, my energy, like you're sucking my energy, right? So where does your energy go every time you hear it? Cancellation policy. Well, our cancellation policy is we require 48 hours notice, otherwise you're going to be charged $50. So I can move this appointment, but it's going to charge you $50. She's angry. right? This patient is upset. So just don't do it. Or when you're scheduling your appointment, I've got you down at 2 p.m. next Thursday. We're excited to see you. If you need to cancel or move the appointment, we do require 48 hours notice so that you can avoid a $50 broken appointment charge. That was like a lawyer, right? It's like standing in front of a lawyer. Like, I don't know what any of this means, but I know that I need to call like tomorrow to cancel this appointment because I'm not paying an extra $50, right? No. We are so excited to see you next Thursday. We've got you locked in. And I'm sure if you have an unavoidable circumstance that comes up in your schedule, something you cannot get out of, you'll call me within 48 hours of that appointment, before 48 hours within that appointment.
Hello, Dentally Team listeners. I am so excited because we have truly been fortunate and blessed to work with so many incredible practices across the nation and globe. We have what is called our Platinum practice, and that is super popular. And this quarter, we are only bringing in 3 new Platinum practices. This is an area that is going to grow you exponentially. So give us a call. We only have limited space. I said only 3 this quarter due to popularity and demand. So let's get you in as a Platinum practice this quarter.
Right? Like your energy, where is your energy at? What are you portraying? Kira, is there anything else on here that you can think of that we want to make sure we populate in their brains today? Those are my tops.
I love them. And tip to that, like a lot of times when we're confirming appointments, especially right now, like, hey, if you need to cancel your appointment, give us a call. Well, we just planted a seed that I can cancel and I just need to call. Instead, if you need an appointment change, so for any appointment changes, be sure to give us 48-hour notice. I love appointment change because we're not canceling, you're just changing. So if you need to change it, you're still on our books. You're still coming to see. I think that little shift of words, and it's crazy, you guys, one small word can make or break this. It can truly change if your books are full, if your patients are coming in with confidence, and it's just those small little words. So watching your energy, we're really big. We don't want cancellations because Tiff and I, if you want to torture me and Tiff, make us do phone calls. Like we both hate phone calls at the office, and we were schedulers and we had to call a ton. So we got really, really good at watching our words, not because we're fantastic. It was a learned thing of, hey, I don't want to plant a seed that they can cancel or that and I literally what Tip was talking about before of, hey, you know, what day works best for you? That came from realizing, shoot, I'm in a corner. Like I can't get out of this. So I'm not going to play that game. I'm going to say, hey, Tip, what works best for you? I've got Tuesday or Wednesday. I could do Tuesday at 10 or Wednesday at 3, which works best for you. So by doing that, that came from us. I'm going to say, Tip's going to say efficient. I'm going to say lazy, whichever one fits for you guys. I just didn't want to have that. So I didn't want to plant seeds of cancellation because I didn't want to call. I didn't want to plant seeds of what day works best for you. I realized if I give you 2 options, I'm still being equally accommodating. I just needed to change my mindset around that. And I actually was making you happier because I wasn't allowing you free reign. Those things helped. Charlie, you look like you were going to have a comment. Did you have a comment? I could have misread you.
I was looking at the question and answer, and I can say something, but I don't need to. If you have stuff to move on to, you totally can. I was just going to say something about words and worlds. But. Go
ahead. Yeah, do words to words. And Rachel, we have some people that have popped in a little late. Will you just reshare those links, please?
Yeah, they were asking. Yeah. There's just there's some words that we automatically use when we don't think. And unfortunately is one of them. Worry is another one of them. We actually are just automatically programmed to say those things without even thinking about them. So sometimes you just want to have a heightened awareness for any words that have a potentially negative connotation to them. And if your team is using them at all, it's just because they're unconscious and they're not present to what they're saying. They're just running a program. That's what they've heard other people say. That's what they heard other people do. Like in some offices, I'll like have team members will come in and patients will come in and be like, last name. I'm like, okay, hold on. That's just something you learn from that's what healthcare does is when they walk in, it's like last name, they get you checked in. So there's just some automatic programming that happens. And some of those are in some very disempowering words. And you just want to, once you have an awareness of it, you can look for it in your team. And worry is a big one. Unfortunately is a big one that I find pull an energy way down and create more problems that needed to be. So looking for those.
I love that. Thank you, Charlie.
Can I pop in real quick on one thing? When you were talking, I realized, or I thought of this, when you were speaking about confirmation. So I want the offices that are here today to know that is one of the biggest questions that I get asked is, how do I keep my schedule full? Why are we having so many cancellations? And why do we have so many no-shows? The first place that I look is the verbiage. What are you saying when you're confirming appointments? What are your automatic texts and your emails? What do they say? Because that's why you're having cancellations in most circumstances. So number one thing to look at if your schedule keeps falling apart is the verbiage that's being used.
I love that. Thank you, Tiff. So you guys, now we're going to get you guys participating again. So on your worksheet, let's find it. I believe it's right here. On here, we said words to use or not to use. What are you going to implement this week? Choose one phrase, one word that you're going to cut or you're going to add, something you're going to change. We want you guys to make this actionable and participate. Share in the chat. We want to hear. Give us some ideas of what you're going to do right now. What's your commitment for this week that you're going to change up one of your words? Somebody pop in the chat. We want to hear from you. Lots of you should pop in that chat. We've got quite a few of you on here today. Thanks for spending your Wednesday with us. What is the word you are going to implement this week? And I have no problem waiting till somebody pops in the chat. There you go. Steve, cancel, appointment change. Laura, appointment change, not appointment cancel. Get rid of unfortunately. Unfortunately, yes, we've got our fortunate fans and our cancel fans. Unfortunately, it's out of my vocabulary. Nice job. That's what we want to hear. Let's see. Get rid of cancels. Sorry, we're out of network. Already used the good news is while on this workshop. Nice job, Ashley. Way to go. You're an A-team guru. Love it. All right, you guys. So, and if you have that, step up your game again. There could be words just because we've mastered, unfortunately, or the good news or appointment change. Guess what? There's a lot on there. Tiff is so good at saying absolutely. I love when I call her because I'm like, hey, Tiff, could we get this done? She says, absolutely. And even if she can't do something, it's like, absolutely, I can get that done. This can wait till next week. So I love to call Tiff because she makes me feel really good when I call her. So whatever it is, ramp yourself up.
But it's not just to make her feel good or to overcommit, right? You have to watch your overcommitment. So I use absolutely because I love that word, but I will say like, oh yeah, I can absolutely get that done for you. I can have it done by Friday at 12.
Yep.
So I give her my parameters. What can I work with within my life to make sure I get it done? And there was a time a couple weeks ago that I said that, and she's like, well, I was hoping more for like tomorrow. And I said, okay, absolutely, I can get it done by tomorrow, but this thing right here that we were doing is going to have to wait until Friday.
Absolutely. That is how that works. So you guys, whatever it is, challenge yourself, go to the next level. This is yours. All right, let's move on. So this is for scheduling. Do you versus let's get you. So Kaylee and I were actually talking about this. If you guys don't know Kaylee, you should get to know Kaylee. Kaylee used to work in dentistry, and then she used to be one of the top sales for one of the best car companies here. There's Dolan Toyota in where we live in Reno, and Kaylee was one of their top sales. I love talking to Kaylee about sales. I love talking to her about how to close cases. I love picking her brain because she is so good at it. And she said something today with this, do you versus let's get you. And she said this morning, she said, we never lead with, she said, don't leave the question open, meaning, do you want to get this treatment done? Do you want to get scheduled? She said, have an or. So do you want to do this on what day works best for you, Wednesday or Thursday? So having that or. And what we realize is when I say, hey, Tiff, do you want to do this? There's still technically an or. It's a yes or a no. Tiff just is more likely to choose a no. So by me saying, hey, Tiff, let's get you scheduled. I have Wednesday or Friday, which works best for you? Having that question, I'm assuming they're going to get this done. I'm assuming they want to get scheduled. I'm assuming they want treatment. I'm assuming they freaking love me. So if I say that, I'm not going to say, hey, Tiff, do you love me? That's a yes or a no. I just open myself up to being broken up with to have her say no. So I'd say, hey, Tiff, do you want to have lunch on Wednesday or Friday, which works best for you? So having that or in there, do you versus let's get you. You will watch and it is crazy because even us as coaches, I still catch myself saying, hey, Tiff, do you want to do that? When I'm like, dang it, she's going to say no. I should have said, hey, Tiff, would you prefer to take on this piece or would you prefer to take on this piece? Because now her options are between the 2 days of the week as opposed to yes or no. So we put it in there, assume the yes, assume they want to do this treatment, assume that they're going to do this treatment. Your job's just to pick which day it is. Tiff's phrase is there a day of the week that works best for you? Mine, I'm lazier on scheduling. So I say, does Tuesday at 1 or Wednesday at 3 work best for you? I like to give them 2 options. Whatever it is, make sure you guys are really watching that. I want you to feel like, oh, shoot, I just said, do you? And they're going to say no. And it's going to feel real awkward. And then I've got to call them. Whatever it is, think of that, because do you want this usually will result in a no. And it's not because they don't want to. It's just because that's what they're, like Charlie was saying, programmed and trained. You guys, I talked about this last week. When people walk into the dental office, they don't want to be there. They already don't want to be there. They already have a programmed no. So do you want to get a shot? No. Do you want to have a filling? No. Do you enjoy being at the dentist? No. So they're pre-programmed to say no. Doesn't matter what you say or don't say. Most likely you're going to get more of a no, unless you've got nice Ashley who said yes to me last time and she's glorious. There are some of those people that will just say yes. Generally speaking, cut that do you. Let's get you scheduled. I have Wednesday or Friday. And I'm really good. I always choose. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, people tend to have the same schedule. Tuesday, Thursday, they tend to have the same schedule. So I will offer opposite days and a morning and an afternoon. So if you notice, most of my examples, I've caught myself a few times not saying it. Most will say, hey, Tiff, would you prefer Monday at 9 a.m. or Tuesday at 3 p.m.? Which works best? Because I hit all sides of the coin. I hit the Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. I hit the Tuesday, Thursday. I did a morning and an afternoon, but I only gave her 2 options. So Tiff will be like, oh, actually, neither of those times, but I could do Wednesday at 3 p.m. She'll give me another time that she can do it. So that's where we wanted to put on here. Make sure you cut that. This is a magic phrase to help you guys get through that. So with that said, scheduling patients in the back, because we're pushing you guys. We know with COVID, we can't have as many patients coming up to the front. We're trying to pull that apart for you to give you some magic phrases. Words create worlds, and you guys, this is fun. Have your whole team ramp up. Get excited about this. We send you the recap. Have your teams watch this. Role play this out in a meeting. It will help. So if they're scheduling in the back, for example, Dr. Charlie, we're going to keep Charlie as our doctor today. Dr. Charlie tells our patient, Tiffany, hey, Tiffany, I'd like to see you back in about a week. We need to get that crown done. It's going to be an hour and a half. I'm the assistant. I would say, hey, Tiff, this is what a lot of people say. A lot of assistants, we hear this, we catch it. It's okay. Call your team members out on it because we're just relearning a pattern. Most assistants say, okay, Tiff, do you want to get scheduled? Blech. She's going to say no. So instead, I could say, hey, Tiff, let's get you scheduled with Dr. Charlie. My job's to find the spot in the schedule. I have Monday at 9 a.m. or Tuesday at 3 p.m., which works best for you. Tiff's going to give me an answer. Most of the time, she'll choose one of those options, and it's a high five. She's on her way out the door to get her treatment plan. Here are some of the stumbling blocks people have. And what we wanted to do today is to give you guys ways to get over these stumbling blocks with your teams, so that way they have the confidence. What I found with scheduling is when you are confident and you can answer these with confidence, you won't be afraid to schedule. So let's talk about this. Finances, that's a stumbling block. So what do we say? So Tiff, you're a patient. So I'm going to ask what you would say. You're the patient and I'm trying to schedule you. I say, would you prefer Monday at 9 a.m. or Tuesday at 3 p.m.? Which works best? And Tiff says, well, how much is this going to cost? Tiff, what can you say to this patient so that way they feel confident and they can move forward when it comes to finances?
So as a dental assistant?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I had you as a patient. Now you're responding. Sorry about that.
You responded as me. It's okay. I get it. So now I got to switch my brain. Yeah. So finances. Okay. Yep. Absolutely. I hear you. I definitely want to get you that information. So what I would like to do is pop you into the schedule on one of those times, whichever works best for you. And then I'm going to get you up front. See, here's where it gets tricky though, because of the COVID, right? But I'm going to get you up front to Miss Kira Dent, who is our financing guru. She's got all of that information actually already pulled up for you, and she's got any co-pays and things that you'll have due. So let's pop you in which of those times works best for you.
Awesome.
Like that, so wrap it up. Mm-hmm. Or now, right, I'm going to have Kira come in here in a second and deliver that information to you. I just want to reserve that time on the schedule first.
Exactly. So the point is, Tiff just edified me in the front office that I'm the one who does the numbers and all of that. Ideally, it would be great to have your dental assistants be able to just drop the money. Like totally fine. They can present that. That would be our ideal world. If they can't do that, get them to at least schedule. What about finances? No problem. Tiff will totally help you out with that when she pops back here. My job's to find a spot in Dr. Charlie's schedule. So let's reserve one of those 2 times and then Tiff will come chat with you about it. It really is, we're going to just get you scheduled and we answer their question by edifying somebody else. So do I really need this treatment? What would you say to that? What are some thoughts? Ash, what are your thoughts to help a patient? Like, do I even really need this treatment, Ashley? Like, you want to schedule me, but do I really even need this?
Yeah. So when I was looking ahead at this one, I was definitely thinking like problem, consequence, solution, right? So the issue or the problem in this circumstance is that, let's say they have a cavity. So if somebody asked me as a dental assistant, do I really need this treatment? I would say, like Dr. Tarley did definitely confirm there is a cavity in that tooth, and I would hate for that to blow up, cause you pain. I would hate for that tooth to fracture even more and become unrestorable where you would need to lose that tooth. So these are all the consequences that could happen from not having that recommended treatment. So the solution is what we're going to do is we're 100% going to get you scheduled for this crown. Super easy. Dr. Tarley does these all the time. She's really quick, convenient, painless at it. So let's go ahead and get you scheduled.
Awesome. I love that. I love the problem, consequence, solution. That is a beautiful way to flow this, because now you've just answered their question. You've empathized with them. You've told them what's going to happen if it doesn't happen, if the treatment's not taken care of. And here's the solution. It's going to be really easy. Dr. Tarley's incredible. We edified again, and we're able to get them in the schedule. You guys, a lot of this is just role play. I think in the A team, people are like, gosh, you guys are so good at this. And I'm like, do you want to know why we're so good at this? We role play all the time with you guys. We've talked this through. We've tried it ourselves. So it really comes down to practicing, because often we get into a routine of what we normally say, and we need to get out of that routine, find maybe a better way to say it that gets the results we're looking for. I'd remind your team there are no failures. They're just results. So is what you're saying getting the result you want? And if not, change it until you get the result you're looking for. Tarley, you zoomed in close. You got something you want to say? Or are you just active listening with me?
I was active listening, but I was just, problem, consequence, solution is just, the consequence is just the gold. And whenever patients, you want to increase your case acceptance, it's in this protocol of problem, consequence, solution. And there's different levels of really owning this, because you can tie it to emotional motivators. Like, there's a really powerful training that can be done specifically just on this for case acceptance.
I love it. I love it. Don't worry, treatment planning is coming next, guys. So maybe we'll just pop that in there for you. Thanks, Charlie. All right, you guys. The next stumbling block, asking, do you? Tiffany, do you want to get scheduled? That is a wicked stumbling block, and it's going to result in a result you don't want. So cut that. We say, let's get you scheduled. Assume that. Offer the or. Let's get you scheduled. Does Monday or Tuesday work best for you? And they'll tell you, Monday does. Fantastic. Okay. So the next one, what if they need to, and I put these because a lot of times people get stuck on this. Check their schedule, talk to their spouse, check with work. The reality is most of the time those excuses come because they aren't committed to the treatment. So it's like, what is? Like, I don't know about money. They're uncertain about something. So you got to dig a little deeper. Normally what I say, because this is going to push them into telling me what's going on, I say, and I put it on me. So I would say, hey, Tiff, if Tiff says, I need to check their schedule. Tiff says, I gotta check with work. I gotta check my schedule. My go-to phrase is, hey, Tiff, totally. I understand. I want you to check your schedule. I would hate to forget about you. Notice I said I'm not saying Tiffany's going to forget about us. Kira Dent is the forgetful Bitsy over here. I would hate to forget about you, Tiff. So let's just pop you in the schedule. And then when you get to work, if it doesn't work out, no problem. Give me a call. We can totally change it. Change. I didn't say cancel. We can change it. So by doing that, and then if Tiff's like, well, actually, I'm concerned about finances. I'm like, beautiful. Let's talk about that. But by saying that, I just put the blame on myself. I'm ditzy over here. So you know what, Tiff, no problem. Let's just reserve this time for you, because I would honestly hate to let you slip through the cracks and I forget to call you. Let's just reserve it. It's a placeholder. If it doesn't work out, give me a call. Totally happy to change that. That works for spouses. That works for work. That works for schedule. I'm not pressuring Tiff. I'm not telling her I don't care about her life. I'm not saying don't go talk to your spouse. I want you to. I'm just saying I'm ditzy over here. And the honest truth is I really am. I will honest to goodness forget you. And I know in 6 months when you come in for your cleaning, I'm going to say, shoot, I forgot to call you because you slipped through my cracks, and it just happens. So that's my go-to phrase. Coaches, anything else you'd want to add on that? That was kind of the answer I had for all three of these of what to do. Anything you guys want to add to that?
Mine's always similar, very similar. Like, let's just pop you in here. And then what we can do is we can chat when you get to the office, or call me as soon as you get to the office. I'm going to reserve this slot for you because I really think that's going to be the best time. But then call me as soon as you get to the office and just let me know if it works. or that it works, right? Now assume the yes. So let me know that it works.
Awesome. I love that.
I always like to follow that whole segue too up with, what questions do you have? Making sure that they have that opportunity to ask questions, because if it is another hidden issue, just opening that door for questions again can sometimes bring those issues out where you can then be more direct with exactly where they need more clarification.
100%. Thank you for that. And notice, guys, again, we're cutting that do you have questions. That doesn't open up. They're going to say, nope, don't have any. What questions do you have? Forces more of a response versus asking, do you have questions? Solid. Tarly, going? Nope. Yep.
Yeah, I will. To emphasize that, yes, any of those excuses written down right there is because they're not committed. Somewhere they're not committed, and you just want to show genuine interest of, hey, what questions do you have? I'm going to talk to my spouse. Do you have any questions about anything that you need? No, are you sure? Then let's just schedule it. And then if you're, is there something that I can clarify for you? Because it really is, you have to have a genuine interest though in wanting to understand where they're coming from. So your treatment planners, what makes them so good is their ability to connect with people and being genuinely interested of like, I'm here to serve you. Let me find out exactly what your concern is. If they are giving you an excuse somewhere in the process, they're not clear, they're not sold, they're scared, they're whatever. And the more that you're present with them and the more that you are genuinely interested of like, okay, if you want to talk to your spouse, do you really want to get this done? Sometimes when I was treatment planning, I would literally be like, do you believe you really need this? Because then I'm going to find out if they're even, no, I actually don't believe I need it. Oh, tell me why. Now I'm going to have a segue into really connecting to what's going on. But sometimes I would ask those questions that seem so silly. Like, well, maybe do you really think that you need to get this done? No, I really don't. It's been there for like, a year and I don't have a problem with it. Okay. So you're okay with it if it turns into something bigger? Yeah, I am. Oh, okay. All right. Just want to make sure you're educated. We're here to educate them. Some of them are going to be a no, you guys. That's okay. But if you take the time to ask them the question so that they feel genuinely understood, you're going to have a patient for life, even if they're not doing that particular treatment in that moment. It's a connection. It's a connection that makes the difference in that.
And I can attest to Tarly. Tarly's been doing that for the entire time of my life with her. And she filled a schedule, taught me how to fill a schedule, taught me how to connect with people and make sure that our patients were healthier when they leave our doors than when they come in, because that's the connection, right? I'm not just here to sell you treatment. I want to make sure you're healthier when you leave here than when you walked in. She taught me those things and they work. I watched her sell treatment when she knew nothing about dentistry, literally nothing about general dentistry at all. And people were like, thank you for listening to me. Yeah, I think I should get that giant amalgam replaced, even though it's not hurting me. And I know my tooth's cracked and it's been that way for a year. I watched it happen like magic.
Absolutely. I love that. So you guys show that genuine interest. Also, a lot of you are popping in there. Don't worry. Add your questions to the Q&A. We're going to hang tight with you guys today. We're going to Q&A with you. So put those questions in the Q&A. We're going to answer anything, whether it's on scheduling, whether it's not. We will get to all those. I just want to let you know. All right, we're going to flip gears real quick. This is not going to take a long time. This is just on prepayment collections. A lot of people feel funky about prepayment because it's like, a little different than what we used to do. Did you guys know that at grocery stores, they used to not collect payment either? Like they used to say, put it on my tab, and they'd walk out. Okay, so life has changed and evolved. It's only uncomfortable because we feel it's uncomfortable. Prepayment, a lot of offices do prepayment, meaning when they walk in the door, when they check in, they pay for their treatment. They're totally fine to pay for their treatment. They're golden. And we just change up what they're used to doing. The reason we're recommending prepayment collections with scheduling is to prevent the bottleneck around the front. So what that's going to do is if they come in, check in, I'm walking in, Tiff sees me and she's like, I'm here, fantastic. So let's just make it easy peasy for you. I'll take, we see it's going to be $350 for your crown today. Let's take care of that now. So when we're done, you can just pop out of here. You're done, easy breezy. You don't have to say it all. I know there's a lot of HIPAA rules. So whatever your office looks like, you don't have to say what they're doing treatment for. But I would say the steps for collecting prepayments are, number one, on your treatment plan. When we're presenting our treatment plan, we tell them, hey, when you come in, we're going to collect this when you show up. It's going to be $350. Put that in your appointment box. So these are the notes. You say it on your treatment plan, put it in the appointment notes, because if I treatment plan and Tiff's checking them in, Tiff has to know what to collect and what we already talked about. So it's a communication piece. That way Tiffany feels confident. Kira already chatted about this. I am totally comfortable collecting when Kira shows up. Then when Kira shows up, Tiff's going to click, hey, fantastic, you're here. We're just going to collect that $350 for today, like Kira, like you and so-and-so chatted about, and they'll get you right back. So you can do this pre-collecting. It's very easy. A lot of offices do it. It prevents the bottleneck at the end of them having to pay. Also, by Tiffany taking my payment, she can check my ledger, make sure there's no outstanding balances, take care of that. She can also make sure I'm scheduled for my cleaning before I even go back to the back to get my treatment done. So that's kind of the steps for pre-collecting, how to change that. Now, the question comes up, okay, so if we're pre-collecting, isn't that weird? Like, what if treatment changes? What if, and I'm going to say, what if it doesn't? Like, we're creating these issues when the reality is, so what if treatment changes? We'll run their credit card in the back. We can quickly do that. We'll send them another treatment plan. We can refund them. There's 1,000 ways that we can fix this. I think it's more, you're thinking of all the reasons why it won't work, as opposed to all the reasons why it can and should and is amazing to work. It doesn't matter which way you want to go. You choose your own path. I will say, though, this works incredible. So many offices, their collections go up, their patients are happier, there's less bottleneck, and it's because they see this could work, it's amazing, and this, like, I'm not going to look at all the reasons why it can't work. I will tell you, probably like 1 in maybe 5 to 10 to 15 patients actually need to have their credit card run for change treatment. The rest of them are totally fine. So we're creating a very inefficient process for maybe that 1 or 2 people every week versus having a more efficient process for the hundreds of people we see. Charlie, did you have something? Oh, nope. You come in close to me. So I'm like, oh, she's ready. All right. So that's like the steps for prepayment collections. Other thoughts, guys? Anything you want to add, coaches, before we pop into Q&A? Okay. So what office? Give us the chat. Are you going to start doing pre-collections? Give us a yes or a no. I don't care what you choose to say. Pop in that chat. Are you going to start doing pre-collections? Are you not? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts? We got a yes. That was an all bolds. Christina's committed. She's like, heck yeah, this is changing my life. Kelly's yes.
Tonight.
She's like, and protocol being written up. Already doing this. Amanda, fantastic. Love that. The prepayments are so dreamy, you guys. It's very easy. Put the questions in your Q&A. All right. We went through a lot of pieces. I wanted to just let you guys know on here, as you guys can see, this was our scheduling course. Okay. So that was a scheduling course. Things that we talked about today, though, over here, like say this, not that. We go more in depth on words to use or not to use. You guys can see all these topics over here. You can also see like turning a negative into a positive. Also over here, we've got collecting payments. There's more ways to collect payments. If you look over on this side, we have like, how do you communicate via email? How do you communicate via text messages? What do you do for walk-ins? How do you correspond with email, text, and social media? Lots of pieces. So you guys pop on over there, Dental A Team. I personally think our team training bundle, we had some people asking about that. It's literally 50% off of this, like 100%. It's $8,000 is how much it is. And it has every single one of these courses, the billing, hiring, hygiene, every single course we have looks just like the scheduling one. There's a workbook that's a downloadable workbook. So you guys get all this information plus a lot more. So I wanted to let you guys know, if you just want the scheduling course, no problem. Be sure to come down here. You pop here, start now, and you just put in the coupon code DAT helps. It's 50% off until the end of this month. It's not going to be there. So just wanted to let you guys know that. DAT helps. Make sure you guys use it. Let's pop over to Q&A. All right. So Q&A, coaches, here we go. You ready for it? We have our attendee asking, do we need to adjust, lower, or increase KPIs after the COVID period? Coaches, what do you think on that? What are your thoughts? I've got some thoughts. What do you guys think, ladies?
I think that's office specific. I think that you can look at your KPIs. Obviously, coming back in, they're going to be a little different. I don't know that you need to change them. I think you might need to ramp back in, and just to even see what's so. I think it's just going to be. It's not going to be exactly how it's going to be. You might be running assisted hygiene right now, and which isn't going to continue. So you might have really high hygiene. Your KPI for hygiene might be completely off. So I really think that ramping back in, I don't know that I'd mess with KPIs coming right back in. I think I would wait another 30 days. How are we doing? Where were our KPIs? Are we even close? How does it feel in the office? Are we having a flow, or are we still in pretty much still a transition period? That's what I would say.
Yep. I agree with you 100%. I've told people, like, whenever a brand new office starts, I tell them it's a 3-month shakeout. So you've got 3 months to shake it. It's going to shake, rattle, and roll. Your supplies are going to be sky high. Your team's going to be different. So give it a 3-month shake. And I think that's going to help you. So, and I'd let your team know, we've got a 3-month shakeout. We're going to see, like what Charlie said, you're not going to always be doing all of this the exact same way. You will be doing it the same way. There are things that will be different. So I'd strongly recommend, same with Charlie, I wouldn't change them right away, because that's a very reactive as opposed to proactive approach. Let it shake for 3 months. The world's going to be different in 3 months, I promise you. So hang tight. You might be shocked. Most offices, I'm not going to say all, most offices I've talked to have superseded the goal that they thought they would do their first month back without pushing hard to have it happen. It's just naturally happened. So that's what I'd say for that. The next question said, if yes, do we need to adjust them monthly? There's a prediction that patients will be high in the numbers the first 2 to 3 months, and there might be a drop in 4 to 6 months. Again, hold tight on that, wait for 3 months, and I would evaluate every single month. I wouldn't I wouldn't change it up every single month. And I would give myself a 3-way runway. I've also, in Dental 18, just so you guys know, I've created a 30, 60, 90-day plan of what I think is going to happen. And I'm constantly pivoting and changing it. But at least I have an idea, like, we're going to run assisted hygiene for this month. Then we're going to move into this. This is what's going to happen. And then pivot and adjust as necessary. But give yourself about 3 months. Another question, Tiffy, I'm going to probably have this with you. How do we motivate a team in combination with making sure the office expenses are covered with the 2-month loss? What are your thoughts on that, Tiff?
I am pro bonuses, 100%. I will tell you that I am pro bonuses, but I do not by any means necessary think that is the only way to motivate a team. I think there are many people who are motivated by money, but I also truly believe that that's not 100% of the case for everyone. So if you're in a position right now with COVID coming back, I think everyone is in a similar position, even us at home, right? Team members at home are in a similar situation. So I think that's what you need to take into consideration is, let's become a family, become a team. Let's connect. Okay, connection, human connection motivates people more than anything I've ever seen in my life. I can motivate a team coming in, and I don't pay them anything, right? You guys pay me to be there in an office, and I can motivate a team to be there. It's the connection that you make, the understanding. You're hearing them, you're listening to them, you're hearing their concerns, you're validating them, and you're helping come up with solutions with them. So don't dump all the information of like XYZ, this is what we need to do. It's, hey, this is something that I'm seeing. What can we do to be more proactive in this situation to help it? Or what's a solution we can come up with together? That's how I would handle it. That one kind of goes in combination, I think, with Laura's words to coach staff on who's hesitant to change their verbiage. 20-year habit. That is a rough one. I hear you. I have been there. I can attest to that. It is rough. But I think highlighting, like, these are the things that I'm seeing, or these are the things that we've noticed, or we may come up against. What are some solutions that we can take away, right? And number one thing that I've seen increase acceptance of me being in practices personally and helping coach that is getting them on the same train of thought as where you're at. So you're coming here to the Dental A team, you're vibrating with what we're putting out, right? Your energy is matching. You want the information we're providing you implemented in your office. But if you're the only one who's on the Dental A team vibration, right? You're the only one who's like, this stuff is gold, and nobody else has heard about it. You're trying to take what we're teaching you, and you're now teaching your team. So why not utilize your resources, utilize the things that we offer, like our podcast is free, right? These webinars, they're free. Get your team more invested into the style that you're trying to move your office into. Get them listening to it and get them understanding where you're coming from. I personally think that's going to be a solid win for you, and they'll come to it on their own in a lot of ways.
Tiff, those are awesome things that you just shared. I think something else that I was going to say is, as a leader, it's kind of terrifying for me to tell my team where I'm honestly at. Like it feels embarrassing for me. I feel scared. Like, hey, it's been 2 months of no work. Like that feels like, just speaking honestly of how I feel as a leader and as an owner of a business. What I will say is when I'm honest with my team, I don't want to come in with doom and gloom because I don't think that that's important. I think it's important to share where we're at. Hey guys, guess what? We have not seen offices in 2 months. You guys know that. We've pivoted, we've changed. This is the reality of where we are, and get them to collaborate as well. I think more than just motivating with money, I think it's motivating of where you can go, having them grow with you. At least that's my opinion, being a team member and an employer. Just wanting to shout out to all you doctors that honestly, I feel a little, it's hard. It's hard to admit that you're struggling. It's hard to say that this is where we are. I think more than anything, by being honest and truthful, your team will sense that, and it's actually going to make them feel more safe because they know where you actually are. I have no problem sharing where the numbers of the business are. I have no problem. My team should all know where we're at. We look at it all together. And that actually gives me a sense of security as well, because they know and they can help me. So then I'm not stressed to help. Okay, so now instead of motivating through bonuses, let's motivate through like how many new patients can we get and how many different things we can do. Like Tiff said, build that culture out. I think will help you guys as well. There was a question on here about the team training bundle that we have up here. They said, what's included in it? So just so you guys know, there's an online course with a downloadable workbook for OM, TC, scheduler, biller, hygiene, dental assistant. So all of those courses, ops manual, and our team training videos, all of that comes included for it. If you bought any of the other products a la carte, let's say you're like, I wanted to get hygiene, we will credit back those courses and give you the whole bundle until June. So if you guys want to apply that was a question that they had that I want to just let you guys know so you can have that. So another question we had on there is, on this, what are some ideas for holiday that were paid that are coming up? PTO, bonus system, trying to plan smart, effective, so everyone wins for the remaining of the year. So what are some ideas for holidays that were paid that are coming up? So meaning, do we pay for holidays that are coming up? I would just be honest, if PTO has been used because you just paid out for those months that your team was at home, I would talk to them, come up with a solution for them. Personally, as a business owner, I would look at your financial status. If you can't pay holiday pay because you just paid out all the PTO, I would be honest with them and let them know. Thank you, Tiff. Thanks for putting that in. I would just let them know what the reality is for that. That's my thought. Coaches, any other ideas you have on PTO bonus systems as offices I know are looking at cash flow right now, trying to figure out what to do?
I think the reality is the best. Go ahead, Ashley.
I was just going to say, I think it goes back to really being transparent and honest, because when you are transparent with your team members, that level of comfort that happens from that is huge. So just be honest, be upfront, and there's always a solution. Like Kira says all the time, like there are no failures, there's only results, and there's always a solution.
Mm-hmm. I think people are human too. And if they're not human, they probably aren't your ideal team member. So I think I found that people are more accepting when I'm honest and I share where I really am versus trying to pretend like it's okay. Like, I don't want to come in with doom and gloom. I don't want to also have false advertising that it's worse than it really is. I think people are more human than you think they are. And it feels terrifying. Like, let go of that vine and trust the process. You'll be shocked at how they are. Tiff.
I was going to say, scroll back through. I don't know the number, but go to thedentalateam.com and the podcast. You can search for it. Kira has done a couple of podcasts on how to have a hard conversation. Tarly has trained on it. I can't remember. We might even have a webinar that has that information on it. That's a hard conversation. So learn how to have that hard conversation. Listen to the podcast, look for the webinars, and then go into it with full confidence.
For sure. And also, guys, we have coaching calls to put on there. Any of our products come with a coaching call. You can also just get coaching calls with us if you don't need product. We coach a lot of offices on how to say this, how to talk to your team. Because a lot of it's just how to do it. These are new skills that you're learning. So great question. All right, Laura, you've got a question here. You need words to coach a staff who is hesitant to change their verbiage after 20-year habit. So, Tarly, you want to take that one on? I feel like that's right up your alley.
Well, people are never going to change anything that they don't see a problem inside of. And there's probably just not an awareness of the words that they're using are not helpful. And so it's beginning to educate them on what happens when you use this type of word and how does it feel. So this can actually help. A role playing can help in that. A big point too, as the leaders, Laura, I'm not sure what your role is in the practice. But you want to make sure yourself that you're not using those words that you don't want your team to be using. And so that is one way to impact that. Role playing is another one. And it's really a team being open to see, hey, this is what happens when you use these type of words. Coaching can help tremendously in this area, Laura. I don't know if you're signed up or do any coaching with us, but this could be something when you have someone coming from the outside where they don't have a relationship with us and have any past feelings towards somebody from the outside can have an impact on bringing new information in like this. That's what I would say.
I totally agree. I love that they're not going to see as a reason to change. It's crazy when you do role playing. People feel so dumb. We actually have a podcast called You Think Role Playing is Dumb? Because honestly, most team members think role playing is dumb. So that's why we titled it that. This is going to be a really great opportunity for you to role play. It's crazy in offices when we'll sit here and we'll coach and we'll get the nods like, oh yeah, that's so great. And they'll be like, hey Tiff, how about you try taking this scheduling on? And she will then all of a sudden say, so Kira, do you want to, and she'll catch herself and she'll hear it because she popped into a routine. And then she's like, oh, let me try that again. So, and then she's like, oh, this is hard. I feel uncomfortable. That role play, like Tarly said, will be magnificent. And it also helps everybody else see and be like, don't worry, we're all here to learn and to grow. And honestly, the way we say it versus the way you say it, you might find a better way to do it than we are sharing. So use that with your team. But I definitely love the idea of role playing. And you might even play the podcast for them. Like, you think role playing's dumb? Because we break down what people really feel, why they do it. I get embarrassed. I want to be perfect, guys. I told you my story. I had to introduce a guy and I said, he speaks Vietnamese. In case you want to know, it's Vietnamese, not Vietnamese. I was highly embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I still remember it. I get flushed. That's okay. Your teams will feel that way too. But helping them know will really be a benefit for them. So you guys, that's a wrap. So before we let you go though, because we talked about it, if you can think something, it's going to be in your hand, right? Our thoughts create things. So you can see this in your hand. So give us a comment in the chat box to everyone. What are you taking away today? What's your takeaway? What was your aha moment? Let us know what you're committed to changing right now. Put it in the chat. Maybe you're going to sign up for coaching with us. Maybe you're going to implement, not saying unfortunately, maybe you want to do coaching calls, just get a few of those in there. I don't know. What are you guys committing to? We want to hear from you. And we'll wrap this up. So put it in the chat. We're going to sit here and watch because we love watching it. Really appreciate you guys. Don't be afraid to ask for prepayment. Betty, thumbs, girl. Proud of you. I totally agree. What else do we have out there? What are you committed to this week that you're taking with you?
Christina's got prepayments and coaching.
Yes. All the 3 E's. The 3 E's. Taking those 3 E's in. Excellent job, Amanda. Other things you guys are committed to this week. I love seeing the commitment because it reminds me that, hey, the difference, they say a true decision is made when action has been taken. So unless you're going to take action, a decision hasn't been made. You can sit here on this webinar, you can listen to us, it's high five, but until you truly take action, the decision has not been made. So with that, you guys, Coaching Dawn, we'll see you soon. We're excited to have you. With all of you.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Tiff.
We should tell them that you can find it on our website. You can reach out to us from our website or by emailing hello@thedentalateam.com.
100%. Yes. Thank you for that tip. Ooh, Samantha, leading patients to schedule when we want them to. Amen, sister. Get them where you want them. It's crazy. You don't have to say, when do you want to schedule? You offer 2 choices. You're still accommodating. It's just a mind shift change. Tarly, you came in close. You got something? You're muted
Makes
too.
Makes me so happy
You're
every time.
You're mute, Tarly. You're muted.
Okay. So I was just going to comment to Samantha is have your blocks in so you know where you're leading them to.
Yeah.
If you missed, Samantha, our webinar last week, or any of you missed it, we did talk about how to set up block scheduling for that. So just wanted you guys to know that. I love what you guys are taking. And like we said, there are no failures. They're just results. Are you getting the results you want? If not, change it. Get the results you're looking for. All right, you guys, we will see you next week, Wednesday, 12 o'clock. Get ready. We're moving into treatment planning. giving you guys lots of tips on that. We'll always have a worksheet for you. Take those words to use, not to use. Don't just have it as a silent paper. Role play these shenanigans out. Like, do it, get it done. You think role playing stupid? Yeah, so do we. Don't worry. It's so effective, which is why people do it. All right. Say, thank you guys for being here. We'll catch you later. Thank you, coaches. So much love to you. So much love to the behind the scenes girls. Ladies, thank you guys for being here. We'll catch you guys next time.
And you guys, that's a wrap on the Dental A team. But don't worry, the Dental A team actually has a newsletter where we send out more tips and tricks every single week straight to your inbox. No, these are not podcast topics. These are additional topics that have downloadable forms. So head on over right now to thedentalateam.com, register for our free newsletter. We don't spam you. We don't send you junk. We just send you tips and tricks for your team. This is a great way, you guys. You could get your whole team on an email campaign if you can't get them to listen to the podcast. So head on over to thedentalateam.com right now and become part of our newsletter family.